You've been phoning in it all season, but you're taking it to the next level today, man. Unreal respect, bro. That is dedication to the craft.
Johnny's like, oh, man, you know, that first match was long.
My guy.
I'm just going to call somebody else to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is a one-box, baby.
Yeah, get to the game. Get to the game.
Yeah,
get him out. Get him out.
Great to hear from, I mean, we all know who Batman is, let's be honest. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, second match of the night here. We have two teams in, I would say, somewhat of a turmoil. I think coming out of yesterday, Matt, the Western region definitely felt confident coming into these Summer Showdown playoffs. They respected what the East would be bringing. But when those styles clashed, it was definitely the East that looked much better. Now, only one Western team will advance to the next match to take on the Chengdu Hunters. Something tells me the Dallas Fuel would love a rematch, but the Atlanta Reign are pretty tooled for this matchup. They know what they're going into here.
Right, and you may be able to get past, you know, the other team from your region here, obviously, whether it's Atlanta or Dallas. Take a look at Atlanta's roster first, but have you made the necessary adjustments to get by the Chengdu Hunters, to have a date with the Shanghai Dragons tomorrow? I think unless you're able to play that Wrecking Ball composition or play something to counter it at a high level, it's still not looking good for you, even if you get past this one. So Atlanta, starting lineup, nothing too different. I mean, the only thing we really see them change is whether it's like Edison or Kai in the DPS role. Pelican seems to be playing pretty often.
Absolutely. You know, I think people were wondering why there wasn't a switch at DPS, and we can expand on that a little bit later. But here for the Dallas Fuel, you know, Yong actually did an interview with Yisker, I think, after their match, and sort of said, well, we don't really think we had a problem with the Farah necessarily. We don't even think necessarily it was a composition difference. We just got in our own head after losing that Volskaya map, and from there, things spiraled out of control. But make no mistake, this is a top-tier team. The question I think that hangs over many people's heads is it the best one? Because they had to get through Atlanta first, which is no mean feat. Then they have to go and subvert the past against Chengdu, then to face the Shanghai Dragons. It is a huge road ahead for either of these rosters, and they take on these familiar rivals to even begin that journey here, man. This is going to be a match, a no-holds-barred brawl. I saw it in the lobby, Matt. Someone, I'm not going to say who, put it out there that maybe no one plays Farah. Maybe there's a bit of a gentleman's agreement going on, but that's not going to help them later on in the bracket. You think maybe they're preparing for opponents beyond each other.
Since we destroyed the desk before they made predictions, let's predict who they would have predicted.
They did earlier.
Did they all take Dallas?
I think they all took Dallas, except for Zoe. Zoe was on a surfboard, and she picked the Atlanta Reign. There you go. So it could be the Seawater getting to her, or it could be the isolation with Carlston. Not really sure, but yes, most of them picked the Dallas Fuel. And I think most people familiar with this matchup, which is many of the viewers of the Western region, probably feel the same way, Matt. But the Atlanta Reign have seen teams give Dallas trouble playing to that Orisa setup. We know that, especially on maps like this, we're going to see a lot of Baptiste. We see tons of Symmetra from both these rosters here. Edison really seems to be piloting that one primarily.
But we've already seen, like, okay, so they can play this, and let's say you're Dallas, right? You can play this and possibly beat Atlanta, right? But unless you've kind of evolved your game or kind of worked out some of those weaknesses against a team like Chengdu, may go for naught. Which we'll see here. The Dallas Fuel, they'll start out with that May Sim. These are two very NA comps. Yeah, this is Atlanta does play the Doom pretty often in this, and you see why as Pelican goes in and gets a kill right away.
Sparkle looks on jealously, as that was definitely a hero that was in his wheelhouse in the past. I was going to go down pretty early in this fight, though, here. So the Reign lacking a lot of that healing, and Sparkle switches to the Doom. Yes, he definitely fancies this matchup. Fearless able to win out in the middle of the map here in Gator Falls. It's going to be Dallas in control to start.
Yeah, so double back to the point. So even with that first kill from Pelican, they're not able to turn that fight around, which is a bad sign, because that's kind of what the Doomfist wants to do. To get in there, get that first pick, and then give your team the advantage in the fight. That's a TP into the Atlanta Reign. That does not get used. Just a little bit of a decoy as the Ant Matrix comes down for both sides.
Hanbin's a little bit low on defense matrix right now, Matt, so he needs to stay away. That's Fearless with an Earth Shatter. It does catch Iris at the very least, and Hanbin's having an excellent team fight. He's able to force Master away, but a self-destruct on the point is going to do just that to the rest of the fuel, and they still catch Hanbin after he was desuited, no less. 32% on the clock, and now Pelican gets to stretch his legs.
So, okay, now you get control of the point. Where do you play here? Do you play close? I would probably say you would try and play close, get like the TP out, get them kind of moving towards you. That allows you to get effective kills with the Doomfist, because even the teleporter, right? It's pretty, you know, it's pretty telegraphed and where they're going. If they do decide to take it, you can get big value with like a seismic slam into the TP. So, gonna have a Meteor Strike here with Shatter for the Atlanta Reign.
Teleporter set up for a quick relocation there. It's utilized by Edison back and forth. And here's his wall in play now. Doha takes a little bit of a beating in the front line. Pelican and Hawk also looking a little worse for wear now as Gator is low. He needs help and the sound barrier comes at just the right time. Sparkle's going to fall on the Earth Shatter, comes out, it catches onto Jexa, but that's going to be it. His shield is down. And so is his health. Fearless finds Gator with the Fire Strike. And now Pelican draws the ire of Hanbin, who's able to ward him away for the time being. Fuel to getting rid of Masa with that amplification matrix should set the Dallas Fuel up here for a fight win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Amp Matrix comes down a little bit towards the end. Maybe when the fight was sealed up for the Dallas Fuel, they maybe didn't have to use it as Hawk trying to make it out.
Oh yeah, we've seen this plenty lately.
Yep. Hawk's
Part and parcel of it,
Matt. I don't know how far away they are from each other. He's probably yelling across the room.
Yeah, we do have that unique situation where both of these teams
do that again, see what happens.
They're both at the University of Hawaii, Manoa. Don't know, I think they're probably different classrooms perhaps, but there's the Shatter. Iris gets caught. That is huge. Gator was knocked away, not able to shield the rest of his team, so Fearless gets a gigantic Earth Shatter, and Sparkle's here to finish the job.
I mean, the Sparkle Doomfist is one of, like, what, his signature heroes, right?
Genji and Doomfist.
Yeah, Genji, Doomfist, the Pharah, all some of the most impactful heroes he can play. As Dallas looking to put this away, they'll have both support ults here, which will be massive. There's, you know, this beat they could use to even push on through. That's self-destruct with a charge from Fearless trying to go into Gator, but he TP's fast.
Hawk's going to be a little bit split from the rest of his team right now because the teleporter's down. Yep, they actually TP behind Dallas with that play from the Symmetra. Hawk was a little bit left alone, so if he's able to remech somehow, and Jexa goes down. Fearless is the front line, but he's taking a ton of damage from Edison on his left-hand side, and he's not aware of it, perhaps until a little too late. Sparkle does get rid of Iris, but the damage is already done, and Atlanta get back in the driver's seat now at 70%.
Can they hold, though? I mean, that's the thing. Edison's going to go over to the Reaper, so the Reaper Doom is really good against like the Symmetra trying to take her out early in the fights. Because if you get the Symmetra out and you keep the Reaper alive, you have such a huge advantage in terms of damage output.
Oh, that Shatter
from Gator. Yeah, it doesn't get anything.
Not ideal. Wraithwalk going to be forced here, so Edison needs to take a brief sojourn in the side room, and that's going to leave the rest of the Reign a little undefended. It has to be a sound barrier here. Iris's immortality field is down, though, and Sparkle just going to relocate here on a dime. He's found Iris once more. He's knocked away. Amplification Matrix is in play, but Gator's already fallen, and Fearless doubles down. That's two for the Reinhardt. Sparkle now getting his hands dirty. And at 99%, it looks like the Reign will be forced off. Master going down, maybe some stall here, but that's it. Dallas now put us into overtime.
Yeah, you'll have Hawk it on in touch. It's going to be an Amp Matrix, though, that comes down from Fielder. You deal with Hawk quick. Here comes Gator back into the fight. But Fielder just landed those headshots through the Amp Matrix. Pelican trying to get there with a seismic slam. Yeah, this will be Dallas Fuel taking this first point. And what I think you want to look at as well is with these two teams, as the series kind of progresses, is this Reinhardt matchup between Gator and Fearless. We've seen Gator play really good on the Reinhardt as of late. Seems to really got to be coming into his own with some sick performances. Can he kind of go toe-to-toe with Fearless yet again?
And again, so much of the context of this matchup occurs outside of the wider context of this Summer Showdown presented by Coca-Cola, Matt, because these two teams may just have to adapt completely differently. For the next opponent, it'll be Chengdu, awaiting either of these rosters. But now they try and deal with each other the way they know best. Here's Fearless. I think the pressure on Gator is just immense.
Yeah, just kind of barrels on through. I mean, he also has the aid of the Symmetra barrier, so he's not taking just unnecessary damage coming in. Atlanta, they'll ditch the Doomfist, and then they'll play with the Mace. So this is to kind of counter the stuff that Sparkle is doing, is look at how much damage he's put down. Gator, Hawk, Edison so low. Is Dallas going to just run right through him?
And simply that Immortality Field, it's fine. It keeps them alive, but it doesn't really do anything about all the damage that the Rain had taken as a unit. The moment that drone is removed, they all get blown up. Iris uses his regenerative burst before most of the work was done by Sparkle, so no burst healing was there for Atlanta. Dallas start well. I mean, Sparkle's Doomfist is a sight to behold, and it's scary for them here.
Well, you remember the last time these teams played in the qualifiers? It was like a 3-2, and that was the game where Gator was playing just like out of his mind on the Reinhardt. And you needed that type of performance to go to the distance, and you still lost if you're Atlanta. So something big has to change here. That's a nice shatter.
It's 3, Matt. Hawk's knocked down. Immortality Field has to be deployed immediately, but they can't keep Gator alive, and that's been the story of this map so far. The frontliner for the Atlanta Reign constantly being bowled over by the Dallas Fuel, namely Fearless. Well, Dallas, I mean, they had to get through that nasty Reinhardt matchup against the Washington Justice before they got here.
Yeah.
So Fearless has definitely brushed up on his mechanics.
Well, you've also played against this team. It's gone the distance. You've kind of seen what they did the last time. This is one where if you're the Dallas Fuel, there really isn't a ton of, VOD to go back and rewatch. You can kind of look at some of the things in the matchup that made it close and adjust from there. That's a teleporter put behind enemy lines. Gator shatters, doesn't connect with anything, and then Sparkle's going to take out Iris. This is going so poorly for Atlanta.
As far as I can tell, Sparkle was actually aiming at Edison there and just catches Iris. That is so rough for the Atlanta Reign. They're Baptiste Dynamo, who we gave player of the match last time we saw this team just because of how sick he was, and he plays that like 98.5% of the time. It's just Baptiste really for Iris in general. Losing him so early, and in that fashion, Sparkle just surfed on it.
I mean, Atlanta, you come back in this fight, you have Sound Barrier, Self-Destruct, Ant Matrix available for the Dallas Fuel. They're in a great position to close this one out. Seismic Slam from the side, and that's going to be Masa dropping.
Not a thing he could do. It's a scorch mark left in his wake. Doha's turret gets rid of him. And now Doha gets to work on that Reinhardt shield. Edison trying to challenge, but Doha is already juiced to the gills. There it is. Another Gator's going to fall here, and Pelican has to throw a desperate blizzard on the point now. Sound barrier also applied by the Rain. They're down to 3. Masa sends Fuel to careening over the edge, but the Fuel still have the numbers, and they have Doha working a maximum output here. Hawk eventually is taken down, and now Masa needs to be removed from the point. It would be a shutout. Huge recovery from Dallas after a tough first round, but here come the reinforcements from the Rain. It's Gator leading the charge as always, and Doha circumvents the front line. He forces the wall out of Pelican, then back, but he runs headlong into Edison. The Wrecking Ball comes down, and Gator is a little bit low. Finally getting more of that Fearless ball. Perhaps he's been training it. Edison looking for Fuel to here. Getting rid of the Batiste would be huge to try and unseat the Fuel, and Sparkle's going to go down, but it's traded. It's the Batiste of the Rain to fall first. Finally, Fielder is down. Edison's still trying to find a way to deal with this Wrecking Ball here as a Sound Barrier from Jexa starts to abate. The Fuel still have the point, but they're starting to run out of health. Hanbin's going to go for a self-destruct to try and get that mech back, and he gets Masa. It's going to be a trade of Lucio's here. The remake kill is going to get rid of Edison, though, and Hawks are trying to stay alive a couple seconds longer. It's not enough. The Dallas Fuel take away Lijiang Tower. What a nuts second round.
It's the Sound Barrier from Jexa that keeps Fearless and Hanbin alive, and then a teleporter from Doha to the point to be able to put down some extra damage run. As soon as that Sound Barrier comes down, Hanbin takes out 2 straight away. The teleporter usage back and forth from Doha to put pressure onto the Atlanta Reign's backline, specifically Pelican, trying to get there and protect them. So that first map, all Dallas.
The Doomfist, the Symmetra, whatever it had to be, the Fuel just a little better. This time around, the May for the Atlanta Reign not really hitting the mark. Back to the drawing board for Atlanta now as map 2 is right around the corner.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Quite the round to kick off this tournament, but before we get back into the action, I want to give a special shout out to everybody over at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, who have been incredibly gracious hosts, all of our staff who were able to travel to Hawaii. That's not me. Without the help of the university and its esports club, Summer Showdown, frankly, just wouldn't have been possible. So huge shout out and big love to the gang over at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And damn, looks nice. I won't lie. So he's kind of making it look a bit more, I don't know, dramatic than it is. I'd rather a bit more of a placid holiday, but I guess that's her business.
Carl's down there working hard.
Yeah,
he's got to work on his acting though. He's got to call up Custa.
It's looking like a weekday drama right now. But here's your player resume with Indeed showcasing Fearless, who has a very good first round there. Definitely facilitated to play more aggressively in that front line. He's gone up against a gauntlet of nasty Reinhardt players in the last 4 weeks, and you better believe that experience has helped him to get here, Matt.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Fearless, well, we talk about the MVP, like, and you look at Leave, I mean, there's, like, any name you can throw out from the Dragons. Like, Fearless is up there as well. I mean, he has been that good for the Dallas Fuel. A huge move coming over from Shanghai in the offseason. It has paid off for the Dallas Fuel as they find themselves up 1-0 here against the Atlanta Reign. And the Dallas Fuel, they've set some pretty good times on this map in the past. So Atlanta's got to feel pretty confident what they're going with.
Yeah, this is what the third really distinct permutation of this Fuel roster. And ones in the past able to set through these records here on our Xfinity map leaderboard. Here it is, the Dallas Fuel looking to make their way at least into the next match in this gauntlet. Been a weird month for Sparkle, man. I've got to be honest with you. I'll just bring him up briefly because we saw him showcase his Doomfist a bunch. He has, you know, I mean, that hero's in his wheelhouse, but he's spent most of this month playing Symmetra in the Rush comps and then a bunch of Tracer.
Well, yeah, and I'm interested in what Atlanta goes with here. I think probably what you'll see them do is like maybe the Arisa Sigma with you know, the Ashe. But at least at the start here, I know Atlanta, they're gonna play the Sim on D. Okay, yeah, so they'll play the Sim on D, where typically we usually see teams, they'll try and play like I know the Ashe here, or we've even seen Echo on defense, right? They're gonna come out on D and play the Mirror already. So have the teleporter with the Symmetra in play for that second point.
So perhaps the Reign value having the ability to match the TP mobility, right? We've seen it before. Most of them at the second point, though. Sometimes, you know, just teleporting up to the high ground or giving your team the ability to play from some unexpected locations. Here come the Fuel, and yeah, pretty identical compositions here. The May and Symmetra setup, TP down already, and off to the point we go for the Fuel on the high ground to start with. And you see very quickly, Matt, the Reign are in position to receive.
Yeah, so they're right on to the point. There's no kind of element of surprise here. The Dallas Fuel, they take some of the high ground. It's just whether they're going to play from now as they drop down. That's actually a wall from a Pelican that goes up to the high ground, which doesn't block anybody getting into the point.
Masa trying to get some boops there from the top of the bell. Doesn't find anything yet, but he's a constant threat. He needs not to get caught, though, and Sparkle punishes him there for that little flash of hubris from the Finn. Sparkle able to just rotate down to the high side, finds Edison, the remake from Hawk, that's scary stuff. But again, the Symmetra play dominates the early moments of another map in this series.
Yeah, so they're going to take this point with ease. As I wonder, you know, why match it? I mean, you did play really well the last time these two teams matched up in this mirror, right? Dallas, though, comes into this series expecting you to play at that type of level. They're not going to be surprised by, I know, the Atlanta Reign's caliber of play.
Look at Masa. He's waiting. He's expecting a TP play to that high ground. It might not happen, though.
He wasn't. An Amp Matrix off from the side here. You see where Fielder put that down. We're not, and that's actually a shatter from Fearless that comes through during that. So Fearless loses his shatter. I don't think that connected with anybody. So that's a really good fight for the Atlanta Reign. You'll end up now, banking up some big ultimates, probably chain like 2 or 3 fights together here, and make back some of this time you gave up.
Dallas, we're looking dangerous there. Now 5 minutes in the bank, and it's a very direct approach to the point. No peregrinations required from the Fuel now, as Doha's on the high ground with the Blizzard will force the Reign down, and it looks like that was what he was looking for. There's a TP there that's going to be removed in just a moment, and Sparkle's wall is doing a lot of work here. Gate is extremely low. Blizzard's going to come up and get eaten up by Hanbin. Immortality Fields come down, and the self-destruct gets rid of Iris's. Fearless falls, though, and a self-destruct from Hawk claims Sparkle. He already got Fearless before the fact, so the Atlanta Reign can settle now into a defensive hold.
It's scarier than it probably should have been, though. The Blizzard getting eaten there, Hawk getting demeched, but his self-destruct when he gets demeched actually ends up being huge. So connects with 2 players. Still, you had to use so many ultimates to be able to hold on there for Atlanta. Let's take a look at this replay. I believe this is when Fearless actually tried to use the shatter before. Yeah, it goes up. Oh, boosts him right up and ends up on the wrong side of that wall.
that is the kind of thing that sends your mental spiraling a little bit. I mean, maybe if you're a lesser player. For Fearless, though, he probably just keeps holding W. Sound barriers on both sides here. Everybody gets a little bit of that overshield.
Shatter. Good for Fearless.
Amplification Matrix off the off angle here for Iris. Oh, okay. Fearless going to catch two Gators inside the Immortality field, though, and Iris still punishes Fearless with that field in play. Perhaps Fearless thought that he wouldn't be subject to the boosted damage or God knows what, but he runs headlong into a hail of bullets.
Yeah, it's still just so much damage that comes down. It's a nice shatter. I believe stuns 3 during that, but kind of walking into that Amp Matrix, and even sometimes you forget, right? You know, even kind of seeing Pelican shoot through the Amp Matrix, like towards your back, you know, gives that boosted damage. So TP to the left-hand side. Atlanta may have scouted this. You see Hawk up there? He might hear this, you know, which he definitely does.
Okay, again, very circuitous approach from the Dallas Fuel. They go left side to the point. Symmetra wall in play. Pelican's going to wait on the Blizzard for the time being by the looks. He's got to be careful. He almost got frozen there, and then the Blizzard gets dropped. Perfect timing there. Gator going to get taken down by the Fire Strike. But Harbin is removed. Hawk active as ever in these fights, and a late Blizzard here for Pelican might be just what the Doctor ordered. They freeze up Fuel and remove the lion's share of the healing from the Dallas Fuel. Despite the best efforts of Fearless and Sparkle, this one's another dud for Dallas.
I mean, Hawk and Pelican have come up with so many kills during these fights. You know, Pelican with the Blizzards, although one gets eaten up by Hanbin, that one was huge there. And then, you know, Hawk, whether it's self-destructs or during that fight, able to take out 2. That gives you an opportunity. I mean, now you have your Amp Matrix yet again, and you have your Shatter. For this was above 5 minutes, so this has been really good for the Atlanta Reign, giving themselves a chance here on Hanamura.
55.2% on the point for Dallas. That's it. Self-destruct, thrown up, going to be a May wall in the way now. Amp Matrix from across the way. This could be a broadside assault on the Dallas Fuel. They've got to back up. Gator didn't want to let him go, but he had to. And the Reign will breathe a sigh of relief as they wait the next foray.
Yeah, Amp Matrix used there by Atlanta from the opposite side. And that was actually the self-destruct from Hanbin as like a lead-in. But the May wall boosts it, blocks it from going anywhere. High ground take, and then this will be the Amp Matrix on Fielder on the opposite side.
Oh my. Yeah, well, if you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench, right? Fielder, not nearly as lucky there. Dallas got split as they tried to play that right-hand side. So, credit where it's due, Matthew. Dallas have tried possibly every different approach to teleporting onto the point. Haven't come up with the goods yet, though, and they're going to stay on the Symmetra. Keep looking for the answer.
Yes, it is not, well, worked out really well on that first point, but you know, since we've gone to point B here, we have not really seen much of anything here from the Dallas Fuel. It's been all Atlanta Reign. So they're starting to kind of hit their stride, get in a groove here as beat Dallas. Looks like they're going to drop down Trango main.
Another wall.
The teleporter goes down, but the wall kind of split players off from it.
They're very split, Matt. In half, in fact. Oh,
what?
You're kidding me! That's inconceivable. Fearless drops down and charges Gator from behind, but
it's for nothing.
Curb your enthusiasm. The Atlanta Reign have it on lock. I mean, dealing with such ridiculous stuff like that.
Yeah. Trying to die to that Symmetra turret. You come back in this fight. What are your options? You just have the TP left side and then a rush to the point. Both teams with the beat. Now, Iris with this Amp Matrix on the high ground should be able to do crazy damage because there's no sim wall in play here for the Dallas Fuel.
Time and time again, Dallas have been thwarted trying to use their teleporter. They can't get all 6 players in one place, so they won't do it
goodbye.
Again. Field is down, and Gator will chomp on the Fuel. Jexa on the point here, maybe a little bit of capture percentage is the plan. He and Hanbin are there. The Hawks going to have a self-destruct to clear the room. Hanbin was desuited right into the blast. Jexa turrets are going to claim him, and that'll probably be it now as a wrecking ball for Fearless again, only used in garbage time. And the Dallas Fuel, 55.2% on point B, that's all they're going to get.
Really good defense there from Atlanta. Point A was not the best, you know, gave it up pretty quick, but from that point on, I mean, Dallas 5 minutes plus to try and, you know, get point B, hold them to only 55 capture percentage. That is huge for Atlanta's chances to tie this series up. And they end up doing it on this, like, Reinhardt Sim May composition, right? They played a lot with a Doomfist in that first map. Didn't really work that well. You know, you come in and play with the Sim and the May, and you get that mirror matchup. Gator looked really good on the Reinhardt there. That's how he looked in this first series between these two teams. So it's a really good sign for Atlanta.
You see the Mayball keeps getting placed on the teleporter to make it unusable for the Dallas. We get a couple players through, and then Pelican throws a wall up. 3 players get stuck on the complete other side of the map. Well read, and yeah, these two teams, you expect them to be awfully familiar with one another. Atlanta choose this map, of course, as the loser of map number 1. So we have to think they feel confident here. Is all they've got to do, Matt, is get halfway, essentially, to capturing point B, and we're done.
I think it's just really, if you're Dallas Fuel, try and extend this point A offense, right? Keep it going for as long as obviously you possibly can.
Bit of double shield.
Sigma. The break, okay. Yeah, so this is a little bit tankier, right? A little bit more of a brawly style, especially with the Brigitte in play. No speed boost. They're going to TP everybody directly across. So they're already in.
The Reign have the Orisa here and no Lucio, so their mobility comes from the teleporter. Oh, Edison! Oh my! He gets accosted by Fearless in the front line, but Iris and everybody are going to try and burn him down. This is now an all-out brawl, but the Reign came with a composition for just this kind of fight. Ice Block going to be used there very quickly by Doha, but he's going to pop out into the scrutiny of Hawk. And Gator's going to be able to finish that kill. Second in hero damage on Orisa, by the way, is Gator. Out of everybody in the league, Atlanta Reign pretty comfortably take point A.
And Dallas tried to get close and close the gap, and they just, moved back a little bit. Atlanta Reign. It was a really nice halt from Gator. It got a lot of players in the halt, dragged them back a little bit. And when Dallas can't close that gap and get players split off with that May wall, that's when Atlanta Reign, the Orisa and Sigma, just add so much extra damage into the mix. So Atlanta with a fantastic point A take. Look how much time they have. 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock.
Look at this. You know this team is tech to play a little slow. And Atlanta cleared that high ground, but it looks like they're going to TP into the back right corner. Edison, yes, everybody's going here now. They set up turrets, and this is their staging ground for capturing point B. Immortality Field, Air Matrix, all the works are here. Doha's Blizzard gets eaten up, and Fearless is able to find a kill on the Batiste. That's a good start for Dallas, but there's much more to be done. Doha goes down. Blizzard is in play here for Pelican, and Fielder has no idea really where to send these healing grenades. He can't keep Fearless alive. He's caught inside the gravitic flux, and now it's Harmbin and Fielder. They back up behind the wall. Fielder doesn't have regenerative burst right now, but Doofus comes to save the day. Hawk can't penetrate past the sim wall.
That sim wall saves the game there. That is a position that they're in, Dallas Fuel, where Hawk and I believe you had one more player there. I believe it was Iris. And you have a really good chance to take out those 2 players. You have people coming back from the spawn. You're in a position to at least get a tick. And you end up with nothing. That's a huge hole there for the Dallas Fuel, and it gives them an opportunity. They switch things up, so Sparkle will play the Doom now, and then Doha will play the Sim, so this gives them an opportunity to get a little bit more aggressive, some more firepower with that aggression.
Iris going down early. That's rough. Edison knows that he's now essentially stranded. Fearless charges back to the point, takes a healthy amount of damage, but that really is just going to be support ult percentage, as the Reign had already lost.
And with no Lucio for the speed and the boop and the knockback, right? If Sparkle can see where this Atlanta Reign team is coming from, whether it be the teleporter setup or where they're kind of moving, obviously with no speed, it's pretty telegraphed. Like those Isaac Slam uppercuts are going to be massive, and with that type of damage and impact, then you start to get your Reign into the mix. That's when playing that aggressive could be impactful and benefit the Dallas Fuel.
Here it is again, up to Edison to decide where this team goes, and they get it to the back right. Yep, they follow up on this TP, and they're all on the point. So Metroall's going to come straight down in the shadow. Oh, it's beautiful! Oh, stunning stuff there! Oh my! Fearless pushed back though. Hawk going to get taken down by Doha, and a self-destruct was behind the wall. Edison's able to catch Hanbin though with one of those turrets, and Fearless is so deep, he's in the back line. He's maybe hoping just to trade 1-for-1 and have the respawn advantage, but it's not going to be there. The Atlanta Reign looks stunning as they move up, and they claim Hanamura. Their map pick works out, and they mean business.
And the shatter from Fearless was great, but the Pelican Blizzard on the backside, right behind where Fearless is coming from, catches just about everybody there for the Dallas Fuel, and easy pickoffs as all those players get frozen. Any player who's not frozen, has a very difficult time already low working their way back to the point.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching two teams that know each other almost inside out, constantly renewing this rivalry in their home region. Now they're duking it out on the sunny shores to try and advance further here in the Summer Showdown presented by Coca-Cola. This one is going to be a banger. It's one apiece, so stick around, and map 3 won't be far away.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. And by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League.
We got a whole new season on our hands, a whole new tournament.
Expect the unexpected. It never happens as it should.
With something in the contenders' water, but this shows you how close in skill a lot of these teams are. It's absolutely insane.
The pole slam dunk on the Surmajet, he's gone!
Dynasty, what a way to secure the bag.
Shockwave's turn it around?
Wow.
Where did Shockwave find those 2 kills to take out the supports of Hurricane?
Speedly popping up. Why is this the Speedly show every time we see this pick from Speedly? The Echo and then getting enabled by OG. It's actually insane.
But his shield is broken! He does the jump around the corner with the shatter, and they couldn't even use Transcendence!
Here comes Eyes with a Deadeye, finds 2 again! Constantly finding these picks.
This is hit scan pop off territory. Iced is in his element.
Jakaru comes rolling through to find a third as he takes out both the supports! One more for him, that's 4K! For Jakaru against the British Hurricane.
But look at how British Hurricane's gonna try to win those fights.
Just like that! Poco going a little loco here, finding 5.
Poco just caught health completely off guard.
Cloudy charges it to Adam!
The LKO out of nowhere.
Johnny on the 3rd time as well!
Johnny is a Lucio to be reckoned with.
Twirls more energy, they're grabbing the high ground so they can't touch!
Twos. What a huge brain on this lad.
Someone needs to clip the wings of this Spara.
People could say that they saw this coming. There's no shot you saw it happening the way that it did.
That was just history we watched right there.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game. And by NetApp, the official data management partner of the Overwatch League.
That's right, everybody. For the Coca-Cola Summer Showdown Tournament, the Frag video contest is back. We want to see your best compilation videos of the top frags from the Summer Showdown Tournament for a chance to win $3,000. Find out more at blizzard.wishpoint.com/summer-showdown. Do we have it on the? No, we don't have that on the graphic yet. We'll get that on the graphic for you at some point. Blizzard.wishpoint.com
on YouTube and listen to it.
/summer-showdown. Go there and submit your. To be fair, look, if you're making a frag vid, you probably already figured out where to put it. You probably just looked it up. So
yeah, if you have the technical skill to make this video, you already know where to put it.
You probably found it out.
You're fine. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, and let us remind you of IBM Watson's opinion about our top players, individuals here in the league. Now, Dallas do inhabit 6 of 10 of these spots, but you have to bear in mind that much of the rating that they've accumulated comes from play inside the Western region only. You can see that Lip Void and Fate from the Shanghai Dragons, Hawks also there. Now when these regions clash, it tells an entirely different story, but I think we'd be remiss, Matt, if we don't sort of mention this. Harmon especially, by the way, at a rating of 134. For an off-tank player, players who often don't exactly get put in the flashiest or highest capacity positions, that is ridiculous. And see just how much he offers this team. Going up against Hawk, right, you do have I mean, in my opinion, 2 of the 3 best off-tank players in the West going head-to-head constantly, and they both look great.
Yeah, huge parts of their teams. I think with Atlanta, you're finally starting to see where all the hype about this tank line was about. Like, we've seen it in flashes and certain different kind of compositions and looks, but I really feel like they've kind of taken it to another level as of late. And then Hanbin, we knew how good he was last year with Paris, right? When you saw he was going to team up with Fearless here on the Dallas Fuel, nobody was worried about Hanbin. Everybody thought that was going to be an awesome combo, which it has been. So Dallas will take us to King's Row for the next map in the series. You can play the Reinhardt style here. You can play it all the way through. You can play some other stuff here. If you wanted to play Echo, you could play Pharah, although both teams dared each other not to play Pharah.
It was mentioned.
In the beginning.
Yeah. It was brought up.
As Jinmu sits awaiting practicing Pharah for the next series.
I don't think he'll take them up on that gentleman's agreement necessarily.
Yeah, I cannot see Jinmu taking it up on that. Actually, I can totally see Jinmu doing it because he can then be like, oh, I'll just play Genji, but then his team's like, no, stay away. Stay away. So, always seems to want to play the Genji. But Dallas on defense, they'll play the Reinhardt-based version of this. I wonder if Atlanta kind of opts to more of what we saw in Hanamura a little bit with this Orisa Sigma. It seemed to be really good when they could kind of keep that distance away from the Dallas Fuel. So obviously still some time to make some changes. For the Atlanta Rain, you definitely don't play the Zen with it. Okay, so they'll play they'll play this without the Lucio, and you have the Orisa Sigma. So obviously not as much mobility. Kind of waiting for Dallas to come. Yeah, you're waiting for Dallas to kind of come to you, but look at this. You can set up this pole position on the point. You know, Dallas isn't exactly going to just charge into this comp. That's a nice Maywall, though, to split some players off.
Yeah, you definitely saw Doha drop in there, though, when Dallas are trying to wrap around these less permanent, less temporary shields, rather. And they've kind of done that. I mean, I guess that's kind of the play here, right, Matt? Trying to abuse that lack of mobility.
Yeah, well, what happens here is they actually get a really nice Maywall, this time from Doha, and it splits Gator off. And Gator is so low by the time he gets back to the rest of the team that they're not able to keep him, Pelican, and Hawk. Hawk gets out with his life there towards the end, but quite low throughout that fight. So that time they had a really good Maywall. Were able to split off Gator, which is kind of what they have to do, right? Without that mobility of the Lucio to, get in, help him out. That's a quick TP to high ground. The fielder, how low was he when that happened? I mean, that is just one click there from Edison.
Not great stuff for the Dallas Fuel. They've got to pull something big out here. They get rid of Master, but lose Fearless as he went forward with the Shatter. It did knock Pelican down, but there was an Immortality field in play, and Sparkle has been very careful about how he makes his way into this fight. He realizes there's no front line to really protect him outside of Hanbin. And yes, for Dallas, that might mean that discretion is a better part of valor. They do get their Reinhardt back in position now. It's time to go. And Matrix holds. Sunmin just touches the point, but he takes a ton of damage in order to do so. Gravitic Flux and Fearless's days are absolutely numbered. Immortality Field on the ground waiting for him there. They do go for the beat, and oh dear, it does not work.
Yeah, they Matrix and beat there. I wonder if we're going to see some big changes here with the Dallas Fuel, lumping some of their ults into that. The one you would have thought is maybe you see Sparkle go back to that Doom Fist, right? But Doha...
You can't do that! Oh, that's a deep cut. That is a deep cut there from Gate, excuse me. Carry on, Matt.
You know, Doha with a Blizzard, you're not going to change off of that. So you can't really going to make these huge sweeping changes when you're coming in now without your sound barrier.
Who the heck on Dallas even gets that reference? I don't get it. Anyway, Sparkle down to Hawk. Doha now with the Blizzard thrown down here. He's going to be able to catch Master, but there's going to be a Blizzard coming from Pelican as well. It doesn't matter, though. Field is going to be there. Hanbin keeps to the extremities of the storm. He's just trying to ward, as far as I can tell, Hawk away, but Pelican just pulls up. There'll be another one if he's not careful. And the Rain start to bulldoze through the fuel.
And Pelican doing his best leave impression. So at Dallas, you know, you're not... this clearly worked on Hanamura for Atlanta. They're opting to go with this again, which is such a smart move, not just kind of going for the bait, kind of what most teams will do is just kind of with Amir here. It worked great for them in the last map. It's clearly bothering the Dallas Fuel here. And this Supercharger may be enough damage and just pressure to put this card over the line.
Oh, they just walked it in.
Comes through. Yeah, they can't. They can't get past it.
That's utterly egregious. I mean, we've seen Dallas.
You still have the remnants of the Supercharger here, Mitch. They're going to invest the Matrix. This is like an all-in here for the Dallas Fuel.
I don't know if I've ever made a Bronx cheer sound on broadcast, but that situation definitely called for it. Doha getting taken down. Pelican just pushes over. Yeah, he goes over the top of Fearless. Make sure he gets the final blow there as the icicle goes vertically into the skull. And Arena pushing up. And we saw Dallas have their own suite of problems against even Florida Mayhem playing this Orisa style. They look uncomfortable against this double shield.
Yeah, and they want to be aggressive and take these fights, but they don't have any of like that that Doomfist brings you, right? That insta-kill potential that turns the fight on your side. And with so much just extra poke damage from Atlanta Rain, you have to rely on these Maywalls to get that pick. This side they get a Maywall and they take out Gator. The only two fights they've won this have been off the back of good Maywalls from Doha.
And we've seen the Atlanta Rain get punished by enemy teams that want to dive on Gator, punish the Reinhardt, get around Gator and isolate him. On the Orisa, that's much harder to do. It seems Gator's safer, he's more durable. He might lack the mobility, but he sticks with the rest of his team, and it seems much harder to exploit this aspect of the Rain setup now.
But without the Lucio, you should be able to split him off from the rest of the team, right? That should theoretically be easier. This will be a Symmetra barrier from Edison. It's going to be Fearless getting boosted up by the Maywall there, so it gets nothing with his Shatter again.
Yep, second time this series that has happened. He's going to have to turn around and charge away, I think, with the Blizzard in play from Pelican. Doha threw one up as well. It's going to be a trade of kills. Looks like Edison went down here. Rally being popped by Masa. The Rain looking for a little bit more here with the Matrix expire, and this might be their opportunity. But Fearless, he takes things into his own hands, doesn't he? As usual, Masa gets pinned.
And I mean, the pin there is huge. I mean, you see the damage coming down from Mohawk on the side from Hanbin. He'll finish this off. I got to say, though, those are the types of actions that Atlanta wants. Like, Atlanta wants, like, they feel like their comp is the, tankier, longer, they can put down enough damage that, some of the squishier heroes, right, that would put down tons of damage like the Symmetra they can deal with. When you are the team that's going to just kind of run into them and really kind of deny any type of like splitting off with a Maywall and causing the bigger issues, that's exactly what Atlanta wants. They teleport up to the high ground, that's a Supercharger that gets dropped there, so it's very difficult for the Dallas Fuel to take out, and Pelican takes out Jexa.
It's unreal how many of these he's hitting. He teleports behind them, he's bouncing around on the high ground, so the Fuel there are roiling massive bodies, and he's still hitting Icicle after Icicle. So close to building up yet another Blizzard. And look, Matt, as soon as the data was available for Pelican or for the power rankings for May, he was #1 and has not shifted from that position since.
I gotta say, that was a nice Immortality Veil towards the end from Iris as well. As this should be Atlanta being able to get the cart in. You would think Ant Matrix comes out here for the Atlanta Reign, then the Gravitic Flux. The Gravitic Flux should get Sound Barrier, though.
And it does. Fearless is going to stay alive now as he's dropped to the ground. There's still 2 shields for him to get through. He tries to go past them. He doesn't connect with the Shadow. Gator's going to go down to the very least, though, but the Blizzard's going to force the Fuel to split. Pelican finds Zohar easily enough, and then the rest of the Dallas Fuel just get picked apart. We're now going in under a minute left for the Atlanta Reign have the advantage, and they are pushing it home.
All right, so Atlanta completes the map. They look very good doing it. I know a minute on the time bank. Obviously that's a good time bank, but I think they even look better than that, right? I know a lot of the fights that Dallas was able to win, it was either a Maywall or just really lopsided in terms of ultimate's advantage towards them, which they should be able to win those fights regardless.
For Dallas, the very thing that really propelled them forward, I think, on Lijiang Tower especially, is Fearless, and he had to play pretty, unpredictably there in a few moments. Just as we thought the Dallas Fuel were backing up there inside that Foundry phase, Fearless charges forward, but his unpredictability eventually starts to get kind of dangerous. Fearless gets picked up a lot.
Excuse me, Sparkle, this would be breaking the agreement. Call of Duty, you won't get scrims for years. You do something like that.
Blacklisted.
Break a gentleman's agreement.
Persona non grata.
Yeah, Call of Duty, you'll be playing pubs forever. See, let's take a look at this replay. This Pelican, Blizzard, the self-destruct is over the top of him, and yeah, he just starts dunking on everybody here. I mean, they're all quite low now looking back.
He's got a real feel for the cadence.
Everybody's basically 1 bar of health, but
there is a bit of wind up there on the endothermic blaster, so he definitely has a really good feel for the rhythm of that. Not really missing any of those here. So, okay, so Winston-based composition, Matt, with it's the Farah Sparkle on the Farah.
So what's interesting is they don't play the ball with it, right? We've seen teams play like the ball, Sombra, Farah, Fearless ups for the Winston instead. How does Atlanta deal with this? No hit scan, obviously. Playing the sim with the May. The one benefit for Atlanta is they do have a lot of shielding, right? And he takes a shot from Edison there. Does not have to worry about Hawkland, like a Diva getting in his face, but they take out Fearless.
I think this setup definitely depends on Sparkle getting a ton of value with these rockets early, and if Fearless has gone down, it's probably taken a little too long for that to happen. Yeah, you build up barrage here, but that's as good as a death sentence against what the Reign have got in their composition.
Yeah, and you got to watch out for like halt accretion combos, right? With the way Pelican's shooting, you also have to worry about him.
Hawk can just send his shield at you, and you just die to your own splash damage as well in some cases. So
Atlanta's got a contest point.
2 ticks and counting. Barrage, it's beautiful! It is raining rockets, and Sparkle gets a comfortable 4K there. Stunning stuff for the Dallas Fuel, and this is definitely a switch for them. Call it character development, call it reconnaissance, call it what you like. But Dallas have definitely mixed things up.
This is what I'll find fascinating. Atlanta now goes to the Reinhardt-based rush composition. This is where they're going to just try and have Hawk maybe deal with the Farah and then kind of run the rest of the team down. If this works for Atlanta, where does Dallas go from here? Right? Because I don't think they would match it. They weren't exactly winning that matchup, pretty handily.
Hawk trying to get those micro rockets on target for Jexa, but he's in Valkyrie, and there's not much that can be done. And Fearless gets to have a pretty gainful Primal Rage. Dallas, big shift up for them. In fairness, you mentioned obviously a lot of teams play ball with this comp. We actually see, on this map especially, Chengdu do play Gaga on Winston. So, even the comps that love bringing the ball here, there are definitely situations where they'd rather play Winston. This might be one of them.
The second part of the map and third part of the map is a terrible ball here. So, you play ball first point, but you won't keep it the rest of the time, as that's going to be a fate that dodges the EMP.
Pretty big EMP regardless, and Spark was able to find a ton of damage. Question is if Doha can help him finish off those kills. A little tough given how durable the Reign are. Of course, switching to that Moira setup now with the Reinhardt. Barrage, it's good. Another 2 and he gets the whole backline. Sparkle cannot ask for much more than that. Finishing off Hawk as well. And this switch is definitely giving the Fuel some wind in their sails.
Yeah, Edison goes over to the McCree, but it's just way too late. Pelican ends up trying to use a Blizzard there towards the end, maybe thinking that like him and Gator and Edison can turn it. All right, double hit scan. Real throwback here is the legs plus McCree. Sparkle has switched off of the Pharah though, so no Pharah to deal with in the sky, but still a lot of pressure from these hit scans.
Yeah, I think that maybe Sparkle reads the switch to double hit scan. Either way, he's not able to make much happen with the Doomfist here and the self-destruct.
This is
Just
where
make sure that this is unwinnable.
You play Genji if you're Sparkle here, if you wanted. You can stay on the Doom. No, the crossfire with the Soldier and the McCree is just going to be so much consistent damage. Not anymore, though. You lose Edison as somehow he gets taken out. That's going to be Hawk getting hacked as well. You may lose his mech.
There it is. Nanabu's given over there to Sparkle, if I'm not mistaken. Fielder happy, I'm sure, to be able to switch over the May here. Gator's out of the picture, and Sparkle's looking for just a little bit more. Pelican, you can have legs as many as you like. You're not going to get away from a Doomfist like that. And Primal Rage is locked and loaded here for Fearless as Dallas round this L-bend.
So at least you prevent the cart from moving here for a bit. So this will allow you to get out of spawn, sound barrier, you'll have a Deadeye, and you'll end up with your tack visor during this.
Fearless sees the Deadeye, knows he can linger for a while. Pelican's already gone down to harm, but though Edison needs to get some work done on this McCree now. Switched into it, expecting a Pharah. Meteor Strike, though, could be a problem. Sparkle's obviously heard about the Space Jam release, I suppose. Rising uppercut means Master is in dire straits, and that is a nice punch to get an easy D-suit, and Dallas are way ahead of the curve. 3 minutes and 16 on the clock.
You know, that's the adaptation we wanted to see, though, in this series. Clearly, the Orisa-based composition was worrying them. Right? It kind of bothered them on Hanamura. It was definitely effective here on King's Row. And they've gone to something we've seen, you know, whether it's Chengdu with Jinmu, and then, you know, Shanghai Dragons, obviously, with Fleta use, with those Pharah-based compositions. You have a tremendous Pharah and Sparkle. Why not, you know, bring it out? Put Fearless on his Winston. That's what he wants to play. And they set a fantastic time as Atlanta... I wonder what they can do here, though. Like, you know, Atlanta probably on offense comes out, and they probably play the Reinhardt stuff. So offense, they're gonna have the benefit of being able to see, right? You would, if they didn't able to see Dallas, you think they would end up playing the Reinhardt-based stuff, because they clearly switched to that against the Pharah composition. That's kind of what they probably feel like they should be running there. Once they see what Dallas is running, they could go back to the spawn if they choose and go with that Orisa setup. A little bit of a mind game, yeah. So I think they kind of have an idea what Dallas is going to run here on defense. They don't see like a defensive Pharah, not getting ready to shoot rockets down from the spawn. They are aware that if they're going to be to the left here, they're going to play fast. It's going to be a Maywall from Dohan and Rush coming out, but the TP, they go right by it.
On the statue, Dallas take a smattering of damage, but they can just back up now through the hotel and await Rain's next rotation. It's not this one that's important. It's where they decide to get sent by Edison next. Okay, nice Maywall prediction there. Eventually, Dallas had to contest. They're not split up yet. Maywall's already used, but Doha's in a great position to threaten here. He's able to wrap around the back of the concave shield, and getting rid of Iris first is great target selection, Matt.
Well, I think what happened is Iris was trying to go to the high ground, and the teleporter actually breaks. Edison takes out Fearless. You're still in this fight.
Hang on.
The Orisa lasts for so long. You have Masa there swinging away. Yeah, you're going to end up winning this fight for the Atlanta Reign.
And there it is, Matt. They didn't get to see what the Fuel were playing early, but they have a feel for what they're going to be going up against, and they make the right choice as far as we're concerned. The teleporter gets them there. The double shield once more gets them point A. That's momentous stuff here now as we head into overtime.
Anything here post this for Atlanta is huge. Obviously 3 minutes, a ton of time for the Dallas Fuel on their attack, but Atlanta is not going to get caught off guard with that Pharah-based composition on their defense. They're going to have something different I expect for it. So Hanbin playing low, everybody else for the Dallas Fuel wrapping around.
They have to hit us. About now, surely they've got to.
Chase down Hanbin, yeah.
Maywall in the way, Fielder can still sort of see, but yeah, Hanbin was the loose end that was left there. The rest of the fuel trying to go to the high ground. That hasn't quite worked out the way they would have liked it to, but Hanbin is still alive. He can remech in a moment. Keeping Fearless up is probably the next biggest priority. Unfortunately, for Dallas fans, he's not kept alive, and the rain might actually start to build some speed here in this overtime. They're getting a lot of free progress here, Matt.
That's just bad from Dallas. You know, with the way things were going, I mean, maybe they didn't think Edison had a Symmetra wall. They try and get an Amp Matrix up on the high ground, set up behind the Atlanta Reign, and then speed boost some players down to meet up with Hanbin on the cart. As Hanbin just kind of contests it, so it stays on that corner. But the Atlanta Reign, they just focus down on Hanbin. They have the Symmetra wall, blocks a lot of that damage. And this will be the Amp Matrix from Atlanta Reign, trying to deter them from coming on in. You end up using your Blizzard during that fight as well for the Dallas Fuel. Things are not looking good. This will be a huge second point take.
They've got to go, Dallas. Last time they Charlie 9'd it. This time they might not, but it's still going to be tough stuff to try and capture. Good sound barrier there from Jexer at a crucial moment where the Blizzard's really going to slow Dallas in their tracks. Hawk playing the front line here, wants to try and bowl Fearless over, who has to back away. Someone needs to keep touching though, and next man up was Jexer. He's taken down. That's another checkpoint for the Reign. All in overtime, by the way. They have 5 on the board.
Well, we have enough proof now, I think, to say that this Orisa Sigma comp really bothers the Dallas Fuel. So they're going to have to switch. Yeah, they're going to have the Doomfist come in, so they're going to play Doom Sim. Try and close the gap. Put down enough damage. But look at this, you're going to be able to set the Supercharger up on the high ground, just like they did the last time. How do you close the gap here?
And Pelican just mushes this one in. Fearless goes so low. Self-destruct over the top. The placement is great,
Edison doesn't make through the TP.
Yeah, it wasn't quick enough, and now the Fuel retake the high ground. Sparkle here on the Doomfist. Is able to get rid of Pelican at range and lines up another big one on Iris. The Reign finally get cleared off the car, but that is some serious mileage they've accrued.
Oh, that is so good for Atlanta. Especially this is a Dallas Fuel map pick, right? To almost get at the distance, 3 minutes on the clock. I'm more interested to see what they go with on defense. It's definitely a kind of a... so look, Atlanta could come out and play something that would kind of counter this Flora-based composition, right? Dallas could easily then just kind of play their, Reinhardt Rush. If you kind of see it to go the other way, where the Atlanta Reign kind of play that Reinhardt or Orisa-based composition, they play Pharah, and then you're forced to change on the back foot. So what do you decide to do here if you're Atlanta? Do you decide to just kind of, remain with this Reinhardt, which they do? I think they probably play this way different. I think they probably play this really close. They play aggressive with that Reinhardt.
To mess this fight, 2 Symmetra walls in play, but Doha is hitting these right clicks and... Oh man, the Blizzard. No good. No good! Something that's maybe less talked about, I think, is people go for that ultimate and actually just get, not CC'd by anything, but they just get eliminated before the animation completes, and they can't deploy whatever deployable, in that case it was Snowball, they have.
So now they see the Reinhardt. Do we see the Pharah come out?
Yep.
The Mercy switch. Yep, here comes the Pharah. How does Atlanta play this differently? Or maybe Atlanta feels like they can hold long enough to where it gets to that end. They have enough ultimates to be able to just win the game there, right? They don't have to win the game at this moment.
I don't know if that's happening. Iris gets completely split off. That concussive blast just knocks all of the Atlanta Reign to the 4 corners of the globe. It felt like Master and Gator, though, they don't have to get aggressive. There's no other choice, really, but to do that. The Mercy here is able to bring Fearless back into the fight. This is not something we've seen very much from Dallas at all. But it helps him out here, no doubt about it. You can see Hawks just trying to keep Master alive, but it might be every man for himself once Sparkle gets on the scene. Master eludes him for the time being, but this has got to be a cap soon. Now the Reign are just straggling in.
This is not bad, though, for Atlanta. And you just want to dwindle the clock here. Because, at least I believe, kind of your game plan here with Atlanta is build up some of those ultimates and chuck them at one fight with, 25 seconds on the clock. Getting on here and taking fights is exactly what Atlanta wants. Draw this clock out.
See that defense matrix stretched to its very limits. It was not enough to keep Edison alive. Gator got hacked at the start of the fight, and now that Amp Matrix cannot affect Sparkle as he flies above it. Another kill for the Pharah here. And Fearless has Primal Rage available. Dallas have everything they need here. I have a feeling, Matt, that Atlanta are just going to try and take some of these fights, try and burn as much as they can. There's only a minute 37 left on the clock.
Your next goal for Atlanta is to take another fight and get EMP out. You've already gotten them to use Nano. They had the Nano Fearless because he was stuck inside of the Blizzard. If you can get EMP out, right, you can look at the clock where we are now. We get down to like, 45, 50 seconds. You get the EMP out. We get that next fight, you're in overtime, and you have like 4 or 5 ultimates to deal with if you're Atlanta. That's kind of your goal here.
Doha can't chase them there. He scouts this information though, but he obviously was hoping to set up an EMP pre-fight.
It's a good spot for a fight for Atlanta too.
Into the choke, there is the EMP. The Symmetra wall taken down. Iris crucially cannot do too much of anything really. I think the regenerative burst was turned off by the EMP, but he was able to get an immortality field off. That was turned off, of course. This Doha Sombra is looking absolutely filthy.
So the one thing I'm surprised of is how many ultimates Atlanta ended up investing into that fight. You ended up investing your self-destruct. I think you have the Symmetra wall in there. Now you have Edison switch over to McCree. A little bit more switches than I expected. I expected them to maybe hold on to 1 or 2 ultimates during that. You come back here, you could have sound barrier shattered, you get 1 or 2, and the game's over, right?
Ult economy be damned. The Rangers want to keep fighting. The Fuel have to be ready for this now. They're running short on time themselves, but Sparkle's in a good spot here for the barrage. He tries to go over the top, but he gets rid of Master. Defense Matrix. Oh, Edison's still going to go down. There's a Primal Rage that pushes into the McCree. Gator's able to find Fuel to here. A longer fight might actually start to hurt the Dallas Fuel, so they need to clean it off quickly. Harbin's able to get the job done here, and Dallas shaky a little, but they get across the line, still in overtime. This is anybody's map.
I was going to say, you're not going to have enough healing to deal with that if you're the Atlanta Reign. Sparkle switch to Doomfist here. Knows there's the potential of even adding another hit scan in the mix. Is Gator going to go for the Orisa? It's probably going to be a huge brawl out on the card. They got to know that this EMP is online. A kill onto Doha would be huge, and they got to make sure they get this Blizzard down as well.
The very moment the Fuel leave the card, the round is over. Here's that EMP and catches Pelican crucially. He has the Blizzard up.
Nice shot.
But Doha goes down. It's a headshot. They get rid of the May though, and that was where the Blizzard was. So now a key ultimate is taken away. Sparkle strikes again. Edison is a smear on the wall, and this self-destruct can't find any value. Another one for Sparkle. He's far from done. Forced to play Tracer for so much of this meta. Now he gets to flex what he's made of. Pressure engaging here, knock the Orisa away, and the Dallas Fuel, a squeak over on Kings Road.
A better time bank than the Atlanta Reign going into extra innings, but Atlanta gets like almost to the end of the map. They get 2 checkpoints to get to 5, and Dallas with Sparkle on the Pharah consistently, moving the payload all the way. The Doomfist at the end came up clutch. So that is one that Atlanta probably wishes they had back. They had an opportunity to extend some fights, hold on to some ultimates, just kind of chucked them at one of them. They were never able to get that fight.
This is a fight for survival. It's a fight for the whole region. Only one of these teams can move on, and these 2 teams are locked in death's dance right now. The next map pick, of course, is the Atlanta Reigns, and they will stop at nothing to prevent Dallas from advancing to yet another tournament final. The Atlanta Reign, they're going to have something up their sleeve because we've seen something new from the Dallas Fuel and it looks good. Stick around. Map 4 approaches rapidly.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
by the narrowest of narrow margins. The Dallas Fuel lead this series. They get a chance to go to their map pick, King's Row, and they win it, but it's one of the closer maps that we've seen. These two teams really tough to separate in terms of power level right now. Matt, we got to see Dallas, I guess, debut their Farah Sombra look with the Winston in the mix here. This is definitely inspired, I think, by a lot of teams in the Easter playing to great success. What's your take on it? How do you feel about how Dallas were able to make that composition work?
Well, it worked for Shanghai, it worked for Chengdu, it worked for Dallas. So it must work. You know, I think when you kind of look at the results that these type of compositions have turned out, there's not really much you could argue against it. So Atlanta, they end up picking Route 66. One thing I thought you could have maybe have seen is, like, do they bring in Kai for, like, that, you know, an expert level hit scan play? They don't
that a
no
lot,
substitutions. Yeah, so, but you do see that the Reigns had a very good time against the Dallas Fuel on this map this year. So this is a map, obviously, that Atlanta is pretty comfortable with against this team. That actually may have been, you know, in their last matchup during the stage. So they may have actually done it on the compositions, you know, on this patch. But I think we've seen teams now deviate from what was played a lot during the qualifiers. So I don't expect maybe the same result to happen.
It doesn't, I think, first impressions doesn't feel like a Dallas Fuel map, really. Obviously, we've seen teams have a lot of success with the Risa compositions. There's been Wrecking Ball played on this map for sure. Dallas, I mean, what are the odds that they can bring this Farah composition in here? It seems like there's less methods for Sparkle to sort of avoid hit scan pressure.
Well, you see that stat, you know, the Fuel have never won an escort map at the current pool against Atlanta. 0-2 all time.
Okay.
You know, another Game 5 series. You know, the Owl YouTube channel will turn into something like ESPN. You know, you go to sleep, it's the people on. You wake up, it's the same people on. Then you have dinner, it's the same people on again. I mean,
hey, listen, I'll do that if they pay me $1 million a year. I'll do that.
We're gonna have to start this encore broadcast right after this to get it in before the next 10 matches.
I mean, APAC viewers know that full well. Anybody who either
APAC
lives in that
viewers
time
are just
zone,
hitting their lunchtime right now. Yeah, they're raring to go.
Mate, since becoming a dad, I get up for those APAC games. I get that last match, so I know that feeling. So it never ends.
No wonder why you're so angry in the morning.
That's it. That's why I'm mad. So it is going to be the Farah and the Sombra look here for the Dallas Fuel, Matt. They're going to have a crack at it here, and look at the Reigns composition. Doesn't look like it's tooled to deal with this.
And this is what I mean, where, you know, you could set a tremendous time against this team, have great, history, specifically playing, you know, what was played during the qualifiers. This is not what was played in the qualifiers. Dallas Fuel showing that they can adapt. Atlanta kind of committing to what they've practiced. Dallas, you don't know how much Dallas has an opportunity to practice this Farah-based setup. You know, it may not even been that long, but it's definitely something I think teams have had to keep an eye on. You know, with how Shanghai has utilized it, Chengdu in the APAC region, and seeing their results come in.
Matt, there's no switches here. There's no switches from Atlanta.
They're just gonna steamroll on in. It's gonna be a nano barrage, or
they know it,
faking it. Yeah.
I mean, they know it's coming. Spark was able to find Edison there. He's just blown to smithereens. And the Atlanta Rain, I mean, the kid with the barrage on the card. No, what in their comp does that outside of Iris, who's busy trying to heal his team?
Iris and Hawk are the ones that would have to deal with this.
I mean, is Hawk on his own or not? You cannot expect Hawk. Well, okay, what if like Pelican plays Echo against this, right? You play Echo against this?
I was gonna say, I was like, Echo would be kind of where you would go. What does Edison play? Skater gets Biotic Grenade and then taken out right away. So, because what you would play Echo Sombra, Echo Tracer possibly, but like. Edison doesn't really, does he play the Sombra for Atlanta? I'm trying to think of the top of my head when I've seen them play it as. To be a sim wall that comes in for the Atlanta Reign as they're trying to keep this going. They know they have to, prevent the car from going in virtually instantly, but Hawk just gets played with there.
The self-destruct from Hawk bought a ton of time, Matt. They're able to filter their way back in here for another crack at it. Again, still no switches. Maybe you don't expect them at this particular stage, but eventually Atlanta have to respond to this. Now, everyone's asking, like, where's the hit scan pressure? Look, this team has used both Edison and Pelican at McCree. We've seen hit scan from both of these players. Yes, Kai's absence is a little bit more conspicuous in the face of this aerial assault they're suffering. But the Rain, you put Edison on a McCree here, and this is more than serviceable, for sure.
Does this solve the issue, though? Like, I don't think just bringing in a McCree is going to be enough. I mean, you're going to get dove by the Winston. You have the Farah from above, Sombra coming in. It's a lot.
Here we go again, Matt. Oh, here we go again. Edison just, splattered there by Sparkle. And there's going to be a blizzard in play here for Pelican, but I don't really know if anyone's on the ground to experience the chill winds. It allows them to stall the card a little bit here, but the Rain, they're not stubborn. They are switching their composition a little bit. It's just, I mean, McCree alone can't deal with the nano-boosted Farah.
No. And I think it just puts you in a really tough position if you're the Atlanta Rain. Now, you look at the IBM, the power rankings, right? Kai ranks as the number 4 McCree overall in the league.
It's also the Ashe that they bring him in for.
Right, yeah, or you have him play the Ashe, but still, he's like a hit scan expert. You don't have him in. I mean, he's number 4 for Ashe as well. This I like better, though, bringing the Tracer in the mix. You need to put some type of pressure on Dallas now.
Okay, so you see the Sombra EMP comes out there. Doha catches Hawk. I think that was the point. It's to make sure that no one can stop Sparkle. Get that mech on the ground and shut that defense matrix off. We see Pelican won't be denied on the Tracer here, so McCree Tracer for Atlanta, but it's not really slowing the fuel down. They built up a head of steam. That was a lot of their key ultimates there, but we go back into the cycling of the nano boost here, and Fearless is as good a candidate as Sparkle is now, switching to the Genji. Finally, Sparkle gets let into his wheelhouse, man.
Right, and well, he's going to go to Duke now, but
still his wheelhouse, baby.
Yeah, and this is a different look, right? They see the Tracer come through, they see McCree. This is going to punish the tanks, right? Putting a ton of pressure on a Gator, as that'll be a Deadeye, connects with Jexe, so maybe Atlanta can stabilize now.
Sparkle got the nano boost. He was very low. Flash. Not going to get the job done. Hardman gets rid of Edison. Yeah, Edison got knocked out into the thoroughfare, which was where the bomb was, and Sparkle's able to find Masa here. Again, Dallas find another way to derive some momentum. It's the switch to Doomfist here. The nano boost to keep him durable.
But, I mean, you've been holding on to the Shatter for a while. Like, what are you possibly going for? With
How about that? 4 players? How about that?
Connects with 4. Yeah.
Stunning stuff from Gator.
Too late, though. I mean,
Immortality kills there. I don't think so. Not with Fearless going down. I think crucially, getting rid of the Reinhardt is big. Yeah, Dallas, well, I mean, they breezed through this map.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The map, it's a little bit too late. I mean, think about Route 66. Like, this is a difficult map to complete overall, right? To let a team get to this position, 2 minutes left, and they're playing with an EMP. I mean, you're going to have EMP with a Nano, potentially. What, Nano on the Doom, Nano on the Rhine. Atlanta does have high ground control now, though, so that will benefit them greatly with this Amp Matrix and the McCree.
That boosted hit scan damage, yeah, you got to respect it. Pelican on the card here, another pulse bomb, and his fight could be over before it even begins. He spots out all of Dallas Field playing clumped together, so he knows now he's got a good chance of making something happen here. Their stick is good, Fielder is down, Jex is just able to duck and cover, but it's too late.
But this is why I said I would have liked seeing the Tracer in the mix. Like, I even think if you wanted to, you could have a Gator play Winston. No, they won't go to it, but just having somebody who can apply pressure onto the Dallas Fuel when it was like that Farah and you had the main McCree, like all the pressure is being applied to your team. You're not really kind of forcing them to react to you or anything you're possibly doing. Now they have to pay attention to Pelican's Tracer. They have to react when he's in the back line.
Deadeye got shut down and Edison got flattened there by Sparkle. Comes straight on in after the McCree ultimate was disrupted. Pretty clean follow-up capitalization on that EMP, Matthew.
You still, for Atlanta, it could have been much worse with what was happening as sound barrier available here for the Dallas Fuel. You do have sound barrier for Atlanta. They can make it back, maybe get Gator this Shatter. Just landed a big one, maybe he can hit another.
There it is, Edison knocked to the ground. That is a Shatter for the ages. Self-destruct goes over to the top though and it claims Jexa. Sparkle able to get rid of Master at the very least here, so the Lucio counters even up, and Gator knows he has to charge there. He has to get a mutual knockdown, otherwise he's flattened against the wall. It doesn't help him though. Harmon's able to take him down before he even gets to his intended target, which was the enemy Doomfist. Still, the reinforcements are thick and fast for the Atlanta Reign.
Yes, Hanbin's forced to use his self-destruct just to get a mech back here at the end. So, oh, that's a huge kill though. Pelican though, taking out Fielder. Without the Ana, you lose all healing. Can anyone get to the card? It'll be Hanbin who gets a touch.
Yeah, D-Meg pretty much instantly here. Doha is going to have to reveal himself in a moment. He won't have EMP available. Translocates instantly. Now the Wrecking Ball comes in again. Fearless switching to the ball, only really for the stall component of this round. Edison's looking to finish the job. A Deadeye here will make it pretty darn hard for anybody to stay around. The EMP comes out a little bit too late. Doha hoping, I'm sure, to interrupt the Deadeye for a second time in a row. This time, though, didn't quite line up for the fuel.
So Atlanta hold on defense. It was a great switches there from Atlanta. Maybe you can argue a little bit late, but still, they found an answer. And I also think that's going to be the hardest part of the game for them, what we just saw them play. You're not exactly going to be playing, at least I think, Pharah defense here on Route 66. It'd be a very odd kind of composition to play. So maybe you actually do end up getting that Rhine Sim May mirror here for the Atlanta Reign, which they would love to see that again.
Atlanta, we wondered, how they would deal with the Farah Sombra play. We got McCree Tracer, which looked a little improvised, right? A little cobbled together. Pelican looks incredible on the Tracer. In fact, it seems as if any sort of hero he gets his hands on, he turns it to gold. There he was dealing with the Doomfist though. It was a forced switch by the Fuel because they want to play Farah in that part of the map. I mean, even Tracer can work Farah down inside that last stage here. So Atlanta don't necessarily look like they've got a long-term solution to deal with that comp.
But I think Dallas also realized, where Atlanta obviously has problems dealing with the Farah, Dallas also has a problem here as well. If they came out here, Dallas, right, and played that Rhine Sim May, you would have seen Atlanta just play the Arisa Sigma, right, with that type of composition. They can't play Farah here on defense, so what do? We'll see them revert to... Yeah, it'll be Echo Tracer. Yeah, Echo Tracer, no mercy. As you'll have look at this. This is going to be a very... They ditch the Lucio for the Brig, and they go Torb Reaper. This is a... we do not care about that Farah damage, right? The Echo damage. He's not pocketed.
Right.
Have Fearless jump into us and see if he can live. Right?
It's dangerous for Doha as well.
Yeah.
Look at this, the pressure now from Hawk. This is not a pocketed Echo, so you don't have that healing on tap constantly. You might get a biscuit every now and then from Dexa, or if Fielder's able to spot you down, but he's busy trying to keep this Winston up. By the way, doing so, he's built a nano early. Yeah, that's 45 second. Pretty good time, and here it is. Deployed straight away, and Fearless is into the back line, stunned up initially. Gator comes to the rescue, doesn't land the charge, and Fearless is just doing what he can without overcommitting, Matt.
He still got pretty low. Even with the nano, he gets stunned up straight away. That's an Amp Matrix drop down right by Big Earls. Ooh. As Pelican will take out Sparkle. So it makes Sparkle's life really difficult with that Torb turret, shooting from the side. This will be a Primal Rage from Fearless as well, as Dallas doubling down.
Yeah, great way to punish one of the nastiest plays in the Western region right now. Sparkle is really going to have a problem dealing with this setup. And Doha, I mean, look, anti-air cannon just doing its job.
Yeah, the Torb turret has some cover from Big Earl. It's just kind of underneath. It's rally pop for both sides. So yeah,
no, there's no shield.
Putting shots on a Hanbin is, won't get anything though.
You got the
molten. Oh, the molten cord actually right on where the payload is. It's trying to deter Fearless from coming in.
And it's looking like bath time, Matt. Suds everywhere, and Edison is trying to clean the battlefield of any Dallas Fuel presence here. Jackson taken down by a wild charge there from Gator, and Doha can't really touch here. Hanmin is, dead, I'll be honest with you. Just keep it simple. And Fielder on the high ground can't do much either. The Atlanta Reign played the most hostile composition you could really ask for against the dive, and, well, you see how it plays out against Dallas. Doha's going to switch here, and
but this is great,
Sombra Farah now.
They're going to play the Farah on D. But you see kind of these adaptations from both teams, right? We talked a lot about it from the Atlanta Reign perspective, but now Atlanta putting Dallas on the back foot. if Atlanta can stop this Pharah-based composition, we will see a Game 5 for sure. They've looked like they can really kind of, handle everything else that Dallas throws at them.
Look, if Atlanta can stop this Pharah-based composition, that's a decent sign in what would be their next matchup. Still no mention of dealing with the Wrecking Ball, but they'll cross that bridge when they get to it. They've got a fearsome opponent in their way right now, and that's the sleep on Edison. He hit the flash, sure, but there's no chance for a follow-up at Fielder. Oh, man, he is efficient. It's a bionic grenade to make sure they get the kill on Edison, and now Dallas can clean up. They need to respect Gator's damage inside the saloon, though, and, well, Harbin gets desuited as a result. They will have that Ryan kill, though.
Okay, they do get some payload progress. You see Masa actually still moving the cart. Not going to make it out with his lag, but you come back, self-destruct in open space. Self-destruct also against the Pharah Mercy. You can again catch them out in the sky. That's a positive. But they're going to have the Nano Barrage yet again, which they've been constantly going to. And Sparkle playing on this off angle, it's going to be very difficult to dodge any of this damage.
Try and put pressure on Hawk's resources as much as he can. Okay, interesting positioning for this one. Just lets it rip, and Hawk got desuited by it and removed. Iris going down after the fact. It means Dallas now get to ease into this defensive hold, Matt, a little more.
And I would love to just see like Sparkle's POV as we get ready maybe for this next fight. He's just been kind of lurking above that lower kind of entrance area, and they have not been able to get out there without taking serious damage. Now they try and take high ground, which is probably the better of the alternatives for the Atlanta Reign. But look at how much work you have to do to get this Ryan in the mix.
Shatter gets Fearless, that's about it, but Deadeye for 2. Stunning stuff. It looks like Sparkle fell to the Amp Matrix boost. An easy one for Edison now. Gator and Hawk having fallen, so there's no front line left here for the Dallas Fuel. Atlanta rather. They had the Primal Rage to deal with here on the side of Dallas. Fearless got Iris there, he just pancaked the fall, and Edison's forced back away. Armor's going to follow up here, and the pressure on this McCree is insane. Still, Matt, the cart's close, and they've got to throw their Mercy at the problem. Hanbin's going to be able to stall with just a sliver of health, and they bring Fearless back into the fight with a high-value res, and he goes over the top of the pulse bomb. The Monkey continues to live on. Pelican now under pressure, has to burn that recall, and this is just stall from Fearless. He gets the nano boost as well. Dallas are hanging on.
Oh, and they let Hanbin remech. You end up losing your supports, but can you keep dragging this out? Now you're starting to lose players. It's getting really good for Atlanta. So they should be able to get the cart over the line, but that got scary there for a bit. So Dallas, I think they may end up committing to this Doom, because Jexay will switch to the Lucio now.
Great composure there from the Atlanta Reign to finish that fight. Frustrating to deal with one stall mechanic after another, but they prevail. The Doomfist here for Sparkle. Struggled against Pelican's Tracer earlier on. See which foot the shoe falls on this time around. Gator getting pressured. He's trying to push deep now. The Deadeye from Edison. Oh, no one on Dallas was ready for that. And Sparkle just gets domed by it.
And that's a real big positive for Atlanta. They needed a fast fight win there. You don't get a really quick fight win there. You allow Doha to build up a EMP. EMP Primal ends up with a Nano. That's the end of the map, right? Considering where the box of victory is. Now you have a great shot. Pelican lands like a pulse bomb on one of these supports here early. I know that could be the thing that sends us to a Game 5.
1 minute 48, and the stick for good measure on Sparkle. Again, Pelican winning out against the Doomfist. Fielder completely lost at sea there. No one to save him, and this is another level for Pelican now. He is determined for this map 5.
And this is huge for Atlanta, that they don't have anybody drop. Like, with a player dropping here, Doha may have invested that EMP a little bit earlier. Hanbin with a self-destruct doesn't get anything. Masa dodges it. Beautiful play there from Masa, getting the sound barrier off.
Deadeye for Edison means things go from bad to worse for Dallas, and the Atlanta Reign can't be stopped. This was always how it was meant to go, ladies and gentlemen. We were promised a map 5 between the two very best in the West, and by God, we're gonna get it.
And Masa makes a fantastic play there. He knows the EMP is coming, just trying to find the direction of it. I believe he actually saw the translocator kind of go over his head, got right down underneath the payload, crouched to the side of it. Was able to dodge the EMP, land the sound barrier. Once they were able to do that, the Deadeye came out. That seals the deal for the Reign.
All right, a little bit of something new from both of these teams here. The Atlanta Reign forced to adapt to the Pharah look. They prevail, they force at map 5, and now it's all on the table. Neither of these teams are going to leave anything left for themselves. It's all going to go out there. So stick around and see the very best of the West.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Ah yes, just the way we drew it up. Tit for tat, blow for blow, pound for pound. The two best teams from the Western region now go all the way to map 5. And I mean, you can see that score box there. It has been trading maps. Obviously, both these teams winning on the maps of their selection, but now we come around to control. Dallas looked, I mean, I think it was their most one-sided victory over the course of this series, mate. They look very, very good, but again, different map, different story.
Right, is their map pick though for this final map? So we will go to Nepal. Some good options to play, you know, things outside of the Sim May kind of rush setup, as Atlanta has used like the Orisa Sigma-based version to really cause some trouble, but not even sure you could even really run that on Control. It just doesn't. It's much easier to close the gap in a game mode like Control. I will say though, it's gonna be tough for whoever wins this against Chengdu, in the sense that you know, when I was always like working and you know, coaching and doing stuff in Call of Duty, when you had these type of scenarios where a team like Chengdu had a really long drawn-out game in the winner's bracket, your goal here and the way you make it to the finals is to win this match quick and kind of catch them on the, you know, a little bit of the come down of that previous match, right? You've given them just an ample amount of time to kind of regain and kind of, you know, get back on track post that match. Plus, you're going to be, you know, exhausted after this one. So, I think, you know, whoever wins this is going to have to show us a lot in that next series. But this is also for a league point, right? Atlanta has been to Hawaii now. This is the second time. The last time, you know, I believe they were able to leave with one because, you know, New York just didn't win any games. Right. But to go and not get any would be brutal, especially for Atlanta. Atlanta has a lot to play for in the standings. You know, Dallas pretty high up there, and they'll come out playing the far at the beginning here.
All right, the Atlanta Reign may not have been ready for this, evidenced by what they've got in their composition here. So now they need to hope that they can get a good fight on the point or deal with this Farah early. Either one. Spark will take some early scrutiny. It's going to be Jexter that gets picked off. So there is some hit scan pressure there. Iris able to supply. Getting rid of Mercy is huge. Now Sparkle has to go for health packs, and Hawk knew where to find the bird.
Yeah, I gotta say, you know, Iris gets the kill onto Jexter there early, but a lot of that is caused by Hawk. I mean, just tracks them down in the sky. I also think Control, as much as we kind of, you know, mentioned that maybe you can't play the Orisa and the Sigma here because it's easier to close the gap. Also a lot of cover to kind of hide from the Farah, right? The Farah has to come into your play space to get that damage, which makes it a little bit harder to see how easy Hawk is able to put that pressure on now.
Sparkle gets some damage on the mech here, and it's a little bit hard to heal Hawk from where he wasn't. Somehow Sparkle's able to get 3 kills there, Matt. I don't think that was part of the plan for Atlanta. Hawk tried to ward Sparkle away, but he would not be denied.
And there's, I mean, what? If they force you into that type of position, Dallas, and they have a nano barrage, what do you do, right? You don't have like a hack. Even if you hacked him, he's still nanoed. He's going to come down doing a ton of damage to the rockets.
And Atlanta pushed off the point, though. They did. They went to Dallas. You talked about
they
them
could
sort
have
of
been
being
stationary.
able to take cover from the Farah, right? They went for
I mean, they could have waited for like a, you know, maybe some kind of dive, because that's what they did before. So nice shot by Edison taking Sparkle out.
That's what you need from the McCree here, but of course the Mercy always means that someone's going to live twice. Gato's able to take down Harbin here, but Doha is just constantly pressuring. He's staying outside the Blizzard, forcing Hawk. Oh my! Hawk gets a self-destruct kill on the Mercy of all things. That's Value Town, baby!
No, Hawk has gotten off to a really nice start here. So they're going to make a change here. They're swapping Pelican off. They speed boost Pelican all the way back to the spawn. And he's going to go to Tracer. Okay, yeah, so they're going to make a change. What Atlanta did right the first time, and what they did really well, is when they had control of the point, as soon as they saw the Farah kind of off on that off angle, they sped away from where like a Winston Rush would come in. And they assisted Hawk kind of dealing with that Farah and the damage. So hack on Iris, and Edison takes out Doha. So Edison starting off these fights, you know, taking out the Sombra 2 in a row.
Jackson must have been away from Sparkle there. He had Valkyrie, but I mean, the micro rockets are enough to kill Sparkle there, at least. Man,
maybe he was trying to go for a res on Doha.
Okay.
So, here we go. The full. This is a full send. Now you're bringing out the ball here. As let's see if the Dallas Fuel can make this work. Probably limited practice on this type of variation of this comp.
Time to see what you're working with, Dallas. Sparkle gets a nano boost there, knows it's a little bit risky, but he's able to go and get the kill on Gator. Yeah, that amplification matrix means him hanging suspended there was pretty darn dangerous. Scrappy stuff, Matthew. But the Dallas Fuel had the numbers here. Harmon very low. Needs a defense matrix himself against the Mini Diva. And he's healed up eventually. Fight's not over though. Master is going to be taken down. The Wrecking Ball for Gator here. Oh, it's on for young and old now, Matt.
Still have another chance, though, Atlanta. I know you get to 99. That's the big thing. You come in, you have a pulse bomb. I mean, Pelicans landed some really nice pulse bombs, and then even Edison with the Deadeye. We don't even really talk about Deadeye as like a big game-changing ultimate. He's been able to find some early pickoffs, even without the ultimate, specifically on the Doha. See if Doha can land this EMP and actually stay safe, not get taken out right after.
Okay, looks like he's happy enough getting both supports with that. Immortality Field still got deployed, so Iris, unreal reaction time. Inhuman. Still, it may not be enough. It's at least a 2-for-2 trade, but Iris is gone. He's not coming back in this fight. Doha wants to pressure Gator, and he just happened to have a translocator on the ledge that gave him a way around the shield. Okay, sure.
If you kept Gator alive there, you may have seen Atlanta turn that. They could have dropped that sound barrier. You still had Pelican and Hawk there. Pretty healthy. So they're going to have to get a touch. Nano on the Sparkle available. You're going to have Fearless to the Minefield as well.
Here it comes, the mines. And they're deployed from the top of the pile driver, so they're spread quite far. And here comes Gator to the point. Hit with a biotic grenade there for a moment by Fielder, who is under a lot of pressure right now. Sparkle is not in the fight. This is perfect for Atlanta. The self-destruct comes in over the top, but they flip a point in the meantime. Now we're in overtime. So much damage goes onto Sparkle as he gets chased down by Hawk. But the barrage, it's not there. Master gets himself 2 kills in the fight, and the wrecking ball now for Fearless. How's he going to get this done? The answer is he's not. Simply that. The Atlanta Reign will take the first round here on Nepal, and they're 1 round away from a matchup against the Hunters.
And I feel like Hawk had a really good first point here on Nepal, but Edison being able to open up these fights consistently, like 3 fights on this first point, playing the McCree, he was able to take out Doha on the Sombra, which, whether it's right after the EMP or even, just trying to put pressure on Atlanta, you lose that Sombra. That is brutal because you got to charge those EMPs fast because that's one of your main win conditions, and the EMP allows you to hold on to other ults and cycle constantly.
Masa is all over this situation. I mean, while Fielder's doing that, he is not healing anybody. Oh my. Ice in those Finnish veins. Sanctum is now our second round here. Potentially the last for the Fuel if they don't shape up real quick. Doha on the Genji, so it's Genji Doomfist here for the Dallas Fuel. What a look.
This is, they were trying to play fast, and now they're trying to play as fast as you possibly can. And Atlanta, they're going to make some changes out of this. They'll play, these are 2 teams that have such different styles and such clear intentions of what they want to do. Dallas, up the pace, keep the pace high. Get the Doom, the Genji, the Winston in on Atlanta, make a big impact. What does Atlanta want to do? They want to set this Reinhardt up for big success. This is going to be a Blade that comes out. Not going to get anything with it. A Gator pins Hanbin, and he's going to take out Fielder. You're going to be able to win this for Atlanta.
Doha can circumvent that amplification matrix to quite a large degree here. Dallas still have control of the point. It's a long fight. Eventually, Doha has to get run down by Hawk here. And he says, get on the point now. We've already given up about 28%.
Atlanta's comp is so tanky, Mitch. Rhine Diva plus the Torb and the Reaper with an Immortality Field. You have to burn somebody down so fast before like the Immortality Field cooldown comes down, or like the defense matrix is gone. Like if Sparkle doesn't get these kills, like, it is tough for them to win these fights.
Oh, okay, Gator's charge gets interrupted by that. He's stuck in the animation for longer than he otherwise would have liked to have been, and he's vulnerable. Sparkle just comes around behind him and hits him with a seismic slam. That's so brutal for the Reign. Dallas have recapped the point already. The fight's still going now. Death Blossom for Edison claims 2. Sparkle flew a little bit too close to those helicopter blades. Soundberry here for the Dallas Fuel. They're playing with format. This could be filthy stuff, but Edison is safe on the point for the time being. It's only Hanbin now is going to get the attention of Jexa. He's got to get out of dodge for the time being. Gator's going to move up though now, and you can see the Moira just desperately trying to keep Dallas standing.
Yes, Hawk is going to get a mech back, so the mech Blade. Back in this fight. This will be a Blade.
That's 3 for Doha. Yep. Looks like the Reign are flying Qatar Airways right now.
It's an AO Pelican. You're going to go, I think he's going to go back to Torb. But both of the fights that we've seen Dallas win with this so far, it's been off the back of those, Sparkle Doomfist first kills. Being able, right when he gets Gator stuck in the animation, and then the fight after that, him being able to get these big kills on Doom. It's going to be just Doha knocked down with that shatter.
Coalescence is there for Fielder, so durability is at a premium right now, and the Fuel have all of it. They refuse to sell any of it back to the Atlanta Reign. Primal Rage is going to be here too. Dallas spend deep, and they have to. They're so close to winning the round now. They can secure it for themselves here with a staggered fight. It's just the dregs of the Atlanta Reign that are left to try and contest. They may not have a chance.
Yeah, you're going to have Moss to get on in touch. You have Hawk here as well. But this is not looking good for Atlanta, yeah.
Okay. Tons of mobility here for the Fuel, and the basically trapeze artists, all 6 of them. They're able to get back from over the edge. It could have been scary, but the Reign are still in deep trouble. Sparkle goes flying and has no idea what's happened. Still, he's got plenty of teammates there. Almost a boop there on Gator, but he's out of swing himself. Back up, and here's another Dragon Blade. Now Hawk gets desuited straight into Cold Steel, and Massa cannot escape the fury of the Fuel. It will go to round 3, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
So Gator, from that side angle, it got scary, man. I thought he was going to knock off like 3-4 people. He kept going for it constantly and having other teammates contest the point. So final map here on Nepal. So, as we go over to Village, I mean, this is a really good, sim map, right? Sim is so effective here, even when Sim wasn't the meta. So, really, a lot of the noise in this series has been caused with a lot of different comps as we catch this from Doha's POV. Nice Dragon Blade. With all the things we've seen, whether it be Atlanta playing with the Reaper and the Torb, the McCree, the Tracer, and then obviously with Dallas done with the Winston and the Pharah, it may just come back to full circle to the Symmetra May. Yeah, back full circle to the comp we started on to try and close it out.
No funny business here. And how suitable. And a gentleman's agreement round here to be the very last in the series. Dallas got to the point a little earlier, so they'll start in control here. There's a lot of poke damage going on from both sides. TP behind the Fuel's formation here. Looks like the Reign are going to try and get around them. Wall, though, blocks that TP for the moment here. Oh! Yep, Fielder's going to get caught by an Amp Fire Strike. Now Harbin tries to make his way into the back line, but there's an Immortality Field here that just won't die. It just won't go down.
It's Iris getting the Amp Matrix first before Fielder, and then also being able to take Fielder out with that Fire Strike. That is huge. Sparkle and Jexeo must actually turn that. They teleport into the back line, and they're just causing so much chaos. And Hawk actually kind of turns around, doubles back, deals with it. So Dallas does get 21% at the start of that. Atlanta ends up flipping it, though, right after. This is going to be a chaotic fight. Both teams are going to end up with their Symmetra walls and both with blizzards.
I mean, Fielder's in no position to use that Air Matrix properly, and he knows it. He just needs to get to a safe place, and he's found it. Immortality Field was there. Fearless kept alive long enough to batter Gator around enough to remove the Reinhardt from the equation. And the Dallas in a point position here to retake. It's going to be about 36-21.
I think that was an interesting decision there, where Atlanta actually doesn't invest their Blizzard into that. They actually hold on to it. With both sim walls that go down, they probably feel like it's Dallas's time to overinvest. And you come back into this, you flip it, you're back to even, you're back at full strength, so you don't have to go crazy, invest your Blizzard into that. Now they have a much better chance with the ultimates they have available to them.
They're ready to teleport at a moment's notice here to try and adjust to what the Atlanta are doing positionally. Now they're stuck on the point, though. This is where the fight happens. There's the Air Matrix, Maywall. This is pleasantries being exchanged right now. The claws are about to come out. First mech across the point. Going to force Dallas to split a little bit, but they catch Hawk before he can get back in. That's so clever from Sparkle. He dies deep for the desuited Diva, and now the Immortality Fields are thrown, and they're removed. Jex is down. Blizzard caught 3, though. Perfect placement from Pelican. The guy's popping off.
Oh, this next fight's going to be brutal, though, for Atlanta. That they're going to have absolutely nothing. You're just going to have this sim wall, shatter, and the Amp Matrix available. So Amp Matrix, we've seen both teams, and specifically Pelican and Doha doing a nice job, putting the May walls in the way of them, and just kind of like jockeying for position.
Ooh.
This is really on like a Gator and potentially Hawk, right? A Hawk gets up with a big Blizzard Eat. That would be massive here in this situation.
Go for that.
Doesn't get it.
I cannot believe that's inconceivable. Fearless goes for a shatter there. It doesn't work out, but the Blizzard is there. There's always a backup plan, it seems, for the Dallas Fuel. And that's why Fearless can play with such reckless abandon. And it gets the job done. Crucially, they still have self-destruct and
this
the
might be
Symmetra
big.
barrier.
Getting this extra percentage here. Get up to
Good
like
for about
80
5.
something, yeah. Good for about 5%. So for a second there, I thought Edison was actually closer, but he had just popped off the spawn. So that one, Dallas just comes in with such a large ultimate advantage. It's really tough. Like so many things have to go right for Atlanta to win that fight. And Atlanta comes into this one not really having much of anything either. Dallas was able to hold on to their sim wall during that.
All
And
of Atlanta's
has to
hopes
be big
rest on
here.
this fight. Symmetra wall comes up here. Hawk very low, can't get away. The wall blocking his escape. It's going to be an early mortality field, and that's what's going to break the rain. The Shatter's there, and they couldn't touch. An ignoble end to the Atlanta Reign in such a hard-fought series. And Dallas, they say to their fallen brother, well fought, I'm moving on.
Oh, that one goes down all the way to the wire as Atlanta was under so much pressure there at the end, just being pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. I know the Shatter comes around the corner. The one that they're going to want to have back is Kings Row, I believe. You look back at that Kings Row scoreline where Dallas ends up winning that. That was a winnable. Atlanta put themselves in a really winnable position on that map. And were not able to come out on top, where that's also, I believe, a Dallas Fuel map pick. So Atlanta, you got to be kicking yourself with how Kings Row when you still get it all the way to the distance. With Dallas, that is that championship game experience there, and they got to be feel good about this one. But they'll see Chengdu again right after this.
Chengdu, who eternally frustrated the Dallas Fuel. It all started with them losing a map that they hadn't lost at all. Was it 10-0 on Volskaya? Yeah, they're looking ahead towards that series here, but no one came out of this series unscathed. The question for Dallas is, are they exhausted or galvanized? Let's look at our player of the match now, presented by Xfinity here for the Dallas Fuel. And look, man, I think this is a pretty easy one to hand out to Spark, who shows something new from Dallas. They bring the Farah back into rotation, but it was also his deadly Doomfist early on in the series, really tipping the scales.
Yeah, his flexibility and being able to play the Farah and the Doom at such a high level is really what kind of separated the Dallas Fuel from Atlanta in this series. Atlanta was able to adjust to it at times, but still not enough. And when Sparkle was on the Farah, you saw the impact he was making, specifically when we saw it on Kings Row. Really, that's the map that comes down as one of the most important ones in the series. And you see the numbers, absolutely filthy stuff from Sparkle all throughout. It's going to need that type of performance against Chengdu to get them back to the final.
18.9 final blows per 10 minutes is one of the most insane statistics that we've seen. For a reference, Jinmu is an ungodly Farah, has about 13.3 final blows per 10 minutes. That's now fair enough sample size, right? And I think the Farah was definitely doing most of the heavy lifting in this setup here, but that is, we are seeing multiple players, Leave, Fletter, Sparkle, all getting these, more than 15 final blows per 10 minutes, which is already an unreal stat. Even 10 is considered extremely good. We have the very best DPS players in the world now, and they are going out at hammer and tongs to try and make it into this final. Dallas get a fated rematch with Chengdu. We know what happened last time to them. They're going to hope that they have some energy left in the tank, because that one is going to drain them as well. Stick around, everybody. We're going to interview with Spark. We'll hear from him briefly on Dallas slugging it out against their longtime foes, the Atlanta Reign.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Go to takemetomanoa.org today.
Welcome to Game Break presented by Pringles. We're joined now by Sparkle from Dallas Fuel. Sparkle, big congratulations on the win. 스파클 선수 승리 축하드리면서 인터뷰 시작하도록 하겠습니다. We're just gonna jump right into the questions. First question for you, Sparkle. We've seen you play multiple heroes for this match, ranging from Pharah, Doomfist, and even Symmetra. How does these hero switches sort of happen? Were you planning to use a certain hero on a certain map, or is there some other things involved? 첫 번째 질문은 일단 오늘 스파클 선수가 뭐 심도 그렇고 뭐 파라도 그렇고 둠피스트도 그렇고 굉장히 영웅 교체가 많이 이루어졌었는데 이런 영웅 교체가 어떻게 이루어지나요? 좀 맵에 따라서 바뀌나요? 아니면 이게 어떻게 이루어지나요?
저희가 일단은 정해두진 않았는데 하다 보니까 약간 그 오리사 조합을 저희가 이 라인 조합으로 약간 못 이길 것 같더라고요. 그래서 그냥 제가 잘하는 파라나 둠피 같은 걸로 그냥 캐리할 수 있을 것 같으니까 그냥 제가 캐리한다고 바꾼 것 같아요.
Alright, so we didn't really have a set hero pick going into today's match, but after playing the game, we sort of noticed that our Ryan comp didn't really work against the Orisa, and I had a really strong feeling that our Ryan compositions can't beat the Orisa composition from Atlanta Reign. So sort of thinking that, I told the team that I would rather go play the Pharah or the Doofus that I'm really comfortable at, and sort of the heroes that I could sort of carry, and that's how the decision was made, and that's why I sort of switched my heroes according to what we had to play. All right, last question for you, for you, Sparkle. Next match that is happening very, very soon. It's against the Chengdu Hunters. It is going to be the rematch. What can Dallas Fuel do differently to take the win this time around? 자, 마지막 질문. 이번에 이제 또 다시 청두와 다시 만나게 되는데요. 어떻게 하면 이번에 달라스 팀이 저번과는 다르게 승리를 할 수 있을까요?
저희가 볼 조합을 안 쓰고 윈스턴 조합을 쓰는 이유가 의석이 형이 이제 볼을 못해서가 아니거든요. 근데 저희가 윈스턴 조합으로 충분히 이길 수 있어가지고 그냥 윈스턴 조합을 쓰는 건데 이번 경기를 계기로 저희가 다 정신 차린 것 같아서 이제 그냥 뭐 어떻게 하든 이길 것 같아요.
Alright, so the reason why we don't use the ball composition, we sort of stick to Winston, it's not because Fearless can't play ball or Fearless is bad at ball. It's because Fearless is just better. Give me 1 second, let me I sort of forgot his answer, sorry guys, let me re-ask that question. 스파크 선수 죄송합니다. 한 번만 다시 말씀해 주세요. 피어레스 선수가 볼을 못하는 게 아니라 윈스턴을 더 잘한다. 뭐라고 하셨죠?
저희가 윈스턴 조합으로 충분히 볼 조합을 이길 수 있기 때문에
이길 수 있다. 오케이.
네.
네, 알겠습니다. Right, sorry guys. So it wasn't that Fearless's ball is bad or he can't play the ball. It is that the Winston. Dallas Fuel could definitely just beat their opponents with the Winston composition. That is why they are not using the ball and they're using the Winston composition instead. So that is the short answer. Sparkle, thank you so much for the interview and good luck in your next match. 자, 스파클 선수 다음 경기 화이팅 하시기 바랍니다. 여기로 인터뷰 끝낼게요.
화이팅! 대니 형 하와이 보내주세요. 오버워치 리그 하와이 보내라고. 감사합니다.
Alright, Sparkle wants me to go to Hawaii. Maybe next time. Alright, let's go back to the desk.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Sparkle. Thank you so much, Sparkle. We'll obviously he'll have a bit of a rest because he got another match coming up in a little moment. Let's take a look at the Coca-Cola Summer Showdown bracket. We got Dallas Fuel advancing after a 5-map win against the Atlanta Reign. We're going the distance tonight. I mean, if you're still up over in Europe, power to you. Even the East Coast, it's in the AM hour, so we're really going the distance here in the Summer Showdown playoffs. Welcome to the game break, of course, presented to you by Pringles. What a match. What an incredible match. I mean, Costa, we started off the day. It was all about the Wrecking Ball, the Tracer, the Sombra, all about high-paced kind of gameplay. This one, though, Atlanta Reign versus Dallas Fuel, it slowed down a little bit, and it was more about the hero swaps and the hero picks rather than the micro plays in this one.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, the evolution of the compositions that both of these two teams played throughout the entirety of the series. So on Control, we started off on Lijiang, the Reinhardt compositions are generally favored with the Symmetras, and that's what we saw. They went toe-to-toe, and it was just an absolute brawl. But as we went further into the maps, we saw a lot of different things. So Atlanta Reign, we go over to this Hanamura, and they like to play this Orisa, really bunker down and make it impossible for Dallas Fuel to brawl into them. And then Dallas just came up short. They couldn't find an answer to what Atlanta was doing until we go over to Kingsrow here, and Sparkle's Pharah just went absolutely off. starting to bring up that counter to this slower style that Atlanta's trying to play. Is if you don't want to play a hit scan, you don't want to play fast, then we're just going to play the Pharah or the Doomfist, as you see right here, and just take over the game. And then it just became this back and forth of both teams have all of their cards on the table. Dallas Fuel wants to lean towards this Winston Pharah, while Atlanta wants to play this slower style. And that's why it was so awesome when it came to a head in the last round on that Nepal, and it was just absolutely ridiculous, going back and forth, back where we started with the Reinhardt and Symmetra, and it was just incredible from both teams. I wouldn't expect anything left from these West teams, but now, if you're the Dallas Fuel, you got to start looking forward. You lost to the Chengdu Hunters. What are you going to throw at them once again, right now, with such a little turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have that match coming up in a little moment. I still want to ask, though, of course, Atlanta Reign. They went out third in the June Joust, beating the New York Excelsior and losing out to the Shanghai Dragons in the lower bracket finals. Then, here in the Summer Showdown, you go out fourth. You take a loss to the Dallas Fuel in the first losers bracket round. I still feel, though, Danny, if you're an Atlanta Reign fan, if you're a player on the Atlanta Reign, this is not the result you wanted, but you have to be proud of the organization and the results they've had so far this season, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've come up so far, and like I think they've really shown us that, you know, not only are they good at like double shield and everything, they're really adaptable and they're very versatile. And you know, I just want to say great job to Atlanta Reign, because you know this is not their first time in the playoffs, so this is definitely not going to be the last time in the playoffs, definitely.
Absolutely, I echo that sentiment. So they take a 5-map loss in the week 1 of the Summer Showdown qualifiers. Another 5-map loss to the Dallas Fuel here once more in the Summer Showdown playoffs. Well, they say third time's the charm. Maybe they'll get it in the Countdown Cup. We gotta stay tuned for that one. But first, we got more elimination Overwatch coming our way. Of course, it's going to be our third and final match of the day. It's between the Chengdu Hunters and the Dallas Fuel. A rematch from yesterday's initial round, of course, in the upper bracket, that is, for the Coca-Cola Summer Showdown. Danny, for this one, I mean, the Dallas Fuel, they took a loss early on to the Chengdu Hunters. Now, of course, you've had another match against the Atlanta Reign to really practice, you know, feel yourself out. What do you like about this Dallas Fuel team now going into this matchup?
I think watching the Dallas versus Atlanta game, I think Dallas's Winston Pharah was very interesting. I think it was definitely the first time that we're seeing it. And just like, you know, Sparkle just said in his interview, it's not that Fearless can't play the ball. You know, they just know that even with the Winston comp, they could win. And I think I sort of forgot to translate the last part. And Sparkle was very adamant that like after winning that match, they're sort of like woke now. They're like awake, and they're ready to take on the Chengdu Hunters. So we'll, I mean, still have to see what their game plan is going into their match against the Chengdu Hunters. I think it's going to be a very close match, though.
Absolutely. Costa, as a former player, of course, if you're the Dallas Fuel here, you just beat the Atlanta Reign in a 5-map series, but now, less than 24 hours, or I guess it's been 24 hours since you took a loss against the Chengdu Hunters, you now have to recharge, you have to stay motivated, get your head in the game, and go back head-to-head against the Chengdu Hunters. If you're the Dallas Fuel here, what lessons have you learned from yesterday's loss?
Oh, I think you learned a lot of what doesn't work at this point for the Dallas Fuel. I think they realized that they can't play any of this Reinhardt style. I think the Lucio and Moira Winston that they attempted to do just sort of outpaced the Pharah also didn't work. I actually kind of like what Danny's interview with Sparkle said, is I think they go down swinging, play what they're good at, play that Fearless Winston, put Sparkle on the Pharah of his own if they need to. Just try something different, because they've learnt what doesn't work. Now it's time to just keep trying things and go down swinging, playing what you're good at. You don't want to really start trying to adapt and play a style that you're not comfortable or you're not confident in. So I really like what I heard from Sparkle, and I think that is probably their best way forward.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Keep in mind, of course, Fearless, he did make that last-minute swap to the Wrecking Ball. We saw in Nepal against the Atlanta Reign, so maybe it's getting to him. Maybe we'll see the Fearless Wrecking Ball, but I think the Winston is a good shout indeed. Now, it's time to get into it very, very soon. But first, of course, we have to do our predictions. And Zoe, not here, but she's delivering her prediction straight from Hawaii.
How did they? Who is? I don't think that was
mime?
correct sign language. I'm not a professional either. but I
how
don't
she
think
was
that
like
was
that.
correct.
It wouldn't
Dallas is
surprise
gonna
me because
roll
Zoe
them
knows
and
like
she likes
5
to roll.
languages. Yeah, I mean, she's a jack of all trades. She knows so much. The predictions though. So we went with the Dallas Fuel. Love to hear that. I think that's pretty spicy. What about you, Costa? Who are you going for here?
I'm going to go with the Hunters. I don't think there's been enough learnt for the Dallas Fuel, and I don't think they're going to be able to adapt in that short amount of time. But also, you saw their player cams after that match. They are absolutely wiped. I think they're going to really struggle to gain that momentum back to beat the Chengdu Hunters.
Danny?
I'm gonna have to go with Zoe. I agree with Zoe. I think I'm gonna pick Dallas Fuel, not Chengdu Hunters. I've been debating for a long time, but I picked Dallas Fuel. I think after the interview with Sparkle and seeing True, because even Sparkle said that they were tired, but they're mentally awake now. And Sparkle told me that they are ready to take on the Hunters, so I'm putting my bet on Sparkle and Dallas Fuel.
Absolutely. The Dallas Fuel, they're warmed up and ready to go. Chengdu Hunters, they've had a bit of a break. Still though, I'm personally going with the Chengdu Hunters myself. I think they've looked mightily impressive on that Wrecking Ball composition this weekend and in the knockout stages as well. So I'm going with the Chengdu Hunters. And there you go. We're split even here on the desk. You love to see it. That's what you really want from a great elimination playoff match here at the Overwatch League. For now though, before we go, we got one final thing to do, and it's bold predictions presented by Pringles, of course. And for this one, well, we had 2 series go the distance to map 5 already. Why not double down and make it a 3rd one as well here for our final match of the day? My bold prediction of the day is going to be that we're about to get a 3rd straight 5-map series. If you're in Europe, I'm sorry. If you're just waking up, I mean, you're fine. You know, get the coffee going, all of that good stuff. Good to see you. Good morning. If you stayed up all night, it's a bit rough. At least it's the weekend. You know, you got that going for you. So, of course, we've got one more match. I think it's going to go the distance. I can't wait to see this one personally. We're going to take a quick break here from the game break presented by Pringles. And when we come back, it's all about the last matchup of the day. It's the Chengdu Hunters taking on the Dallas Fuel for a spot in the Summer Showdown Finals.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile.